it's Talisha, and today I'm doing another working with Kai video, and you're probably like, what? I've seen him being washed before. You've only seen him being sponged, so this is the very first time I ever use a hose on him, but of course to start off with, we are just sponging him. Now, he looks absolutely filthy and disgusting because he hasn't been washed since that sponge bath, and that was the only time he's ever been washed. And remember that, you know, I wouldn't really count that as a wash because it was just water. I mean, this is just water too, but we get a bit more in depth. But since this video, he was still pretty filthy, so I gave him another hose after that, and now he's spotless. So he looks pretty grubby. Like, look at all the dirt on his hind end. He's literally white because he's so dusty and gross. So where I tied him up was like right near their paddock. As you can see, Jep's right behind him, just so he was completely comfortable. And I've got Kyle standing there at his head, just talking to him and reassuring him through this. So that's why this is filmed on a tripod, because I wanted help and just another person to stand near his head while I was doing all this. Because he does get a bit cheeky. He does kick out a couple times. He does not, oh, there's one. He does not get me, but it's just for a safety thing. So yes, as you can see, we're just sponging him down with water. He's a bit funny. He always is weird about it dripping down his hind end, which is why he kicked out then. But other than that, he went really well with the sponge, so I was pretty happy with him, which is why I introduced the hose to him. I wouldn't have introduced the hose if I didn't feel he was ready. I mean, of course he had a few baby moments still, but we took the hose slow, and after hosing him again since, he was so much better than he is in this video. But yeah, so now he's just standing there pretty chilled. I'm going right down the back of his legs, which he probably wouldn't have let me do before, as he saw he was kicking out. And after that, I then try and touch his sheath area, because as you know, he's a little boy, and you know, I do have to clean that out eventually. He's not quite ready for me to go there yet, but I was just touching him around that area so he could get used to it. I did try and give it a bit of a clean the other day. He wasn't too happy with me, but hey, it looks a bit better than it did before because it's a bit dirty. But he doesn't really like it. He's like, don't touch that. That's my own little private parts, and that's not for you. But yeah, so we're just sponging his other side, and you can really see how dirty he is and all that white sweat coming off him. Because when he was rugged, he'd run around the paddock and he'd get all sweaty because he's a little baby and he's unfit. But now he's not rugged anymore because it's quite warm and it's spring in Australia. So he is not rugged anymore. He's naked 24/7. So here I'm very cautious about doing his hind end because he gets very funny with it and kicks out, as you have seen. But he was really good with it. I got right around there and I was pretty happy with it. So this is when I introduced the hose. And of course the very first thing I did was just did it around his feet. And I played with a few of the different settings just to see which one would be softer to put on his legs first. And the one I settled on was like the flush or something. But then he didn't like it. He was like, oh, what's that? But I decided to just put it on the shower because the shower was still really soft, but it actually got the job done. So we have quite a while until he's okay with it. But I do the pressure and release kind of thing. So pretty much where you keep the pressure on until he stops moving. So when he stops, I reward him and pat him. He didn't really stop moving completely then, but I seem to do it anyway. So then I keep hosing his legs until he stops, and then I release once he calms down and reward him.
Good boy. I know. Good boy. I know. What is that? Do you want to drink some? No? Good boy! You won't do your bum quite yet. I know. Back. We don't like the willy being done, do we? Good boy. See, it's not too bad. It's not too good, is it, though? Pressure and release, I know. for him just to be ready.
Yep.
Good boy. Such a good boy, Kai. Good boy. You're so good. That's my boy. See, it's not too bad. Good boy. Boy. I know. You're alright. You're alright. Good. You want your face to be done? No, you don't want your face done? No. Let's get a sponge, hey? You get a sponge for your face. Here, mate. Hi. Woo.
So I'm sorry that I didn't really talk through that. I mean, I don't know if you wanted me to talk through it, but I thought it was just good to watch and see what he was doing and to see what I was doing from his reactions. I was very, very happy with how well he went. Like, I didn't think he'd go this well. I didn't even think I'd be able to hose him completely. And as you saw, I just kind of wiped his face down with the sponge because he wasn't too keen about it being close to his face, which was fair enough. So I was like, here, well, we'll just do it with the sponge because you're fine with that. And yeah, so obviously I didn't use any soap because I'm not doing this to get him clean. Like, this wasn't the aim of the video. It was kind of a bonus because he was filthy and he needed to be clean anyway. But I wasn't doing it to make him look amazing. I was just doing it to get him to a place where he was comfortable with it. And as you saw, we ended on a good note. We ended when he was happy and he was completely, like, happy to stand still and be hosed. Of course, he was still a bit funny with his hind end, but as you saw, I stopped when he stopped kicking out. And I took it away off his hind end once he stopped doing that. So I was happy. I got to do his whole body and I was still alive by the end of it. And I pretty much did it all by myself. So I had Kyle there at the start, but once he settled down and I got more confident with him, I was able to do it by myself because I was just like, hey, you know, we need to be able to do this and I trust you. I hope you trust me. So let's do it. And yeah, so I'm sorry that the filming wasn't too great because it was on the tripod, but I wasn't really planning on even filming this video today. I just wanted to do it, but then I was like, hey, I'll set up the tripod anyway.
Treats! Because you're a good boy. Yummy. Yum. Do you want another one? You want another one? Yeah. You deserve it. Okay guys, I'm sorry for my voice. I'm a bit sick right now, so it's kind of dodgy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of Kai being hosed for the very first time ever in his life. Look at you! And I'm pretty happy with how he went. So that's his second time ever being washed. His first time you would have known he kicked me. And that was just with a sponge, so this was his first time with the hose. And I'm very happy. He's only a bit over a year old, so he's still learning and water's scary. So we gave him a carrot, well, yeah, we gave him a carrot for, we gave him a carrot for being such a good boy. Now he gets to graze out here for a little bit because the grass is nice and because he was a good boy. So yeah, I know, he's sick of being tied up. If you guys hadn't already noticed, he's actually in Jep's halter. So he's grown out of his pony halter. So yet again, he has grown out of another one of his halters. And he's now in Jep's halter, and I'm pretty sure this is a cob size halter. He's on the tightest holes, but I mean, he's nearly as big as Jeppy is now, so yeah! So I'm gonna let him off now, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.